Hello everyone, and welcome back to my comfy corner where I talk about things that make me comfy and cozy so I can stop bothering the people around me. And today I am back again, and I thought to myself, out of the list of things that I want to talk about, which are a lot, and honestly, this is the first time on my YouTube where I have made a digital script that is on my laptop, which is over here. So if you see me looking over there, that's what I'm doing. And I'm gonna try my hardest and darndest to really stick to it, because I don't really have much of a choice to remember everything that I want to say about each character. But as the title says, I am going to be talking about all 102 characters of Date Everything. Now, when I say all characters, I mean all of the dateable characters in the house that you realize. Without giving any spoilers, when you reach the end of the game, there are a couple of characters that you actually end up romancing outside of the house that I will not give any spoilers again to, so they are not included in this tier list, just for those that have not played the game fully. I don't want to give you that spoiler. However, if you're here, just know that there will be spoilers for the 102 characters that I'm talking about. That includes the DLC characters, which is why it's 102. So if you do not want any spoilers for that, girly, why are you here? Like, go play the game. It's good. It's great. It's amazing. I've been waiting on this game for so long. I would like to say that the developers did a great job making it so fun and interactive, and really a sandbox game when you think about it, because you could do it however you want. And if you really were crazy enough to want to 100% complete this game, you would have to play the game 3 times to get all of the endings, all of the characters realized, the whole 9 yards. So if you're really that crazy, by all means go and do that. But I'm basing off my opinions and thoughts and views off of my personal run that I did with all 102 characters. And that's that and that kind of hat. Some of the characters I may be a little bit biased towards, because I might have had to see another person play through the character, because I was soft locked for 3 characters in getting their endings, and in doing so, I was not able to fully complete the game as the way that I wanted to. But that is that. Last disclaimer, and I swear I'm going to get into the rankings. I not only did it in numerical order, but also in a tier list order. So for the girlies that like a good tier list, this is for you, and the girlies that like a good 1 to 100, this is for you as well. But I am trying to purely rank the characters based off of the characterizations initially. I am not counting them when they are realized. That means when you're able to turn the items into humans. That is a thing, that is a story beat. I don't want to spoil too much on that. So I'm not taking their realized versions into consideration for this tier list. If you guys love this tier list enough, I will do another video where I talk about the endings and the realized characters, and I will also talk about the bonus characters that you could or could not romance after you exit the house in that video too, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, and with all of that preamble, let's get started with my bottom tier, which is the last tier. Oh brother, this guy stinks. Okay, so the very last out of the 102 characters, number 102, / the bottom of my tier list of oh brother this guy stinks, is Friar Errol. And so I want to also disclaimer here, when I say oh brother this guy stinks, I mean I really hate this character for real. Like, anytime I see this character on the screen, I literally go oh brother this guy stinks. And Friar Errol is the epitome of why I had to make this tier. He is the air fryer character, and I love his design because it just makes me hate it. Like, look at this man. Doesn't he look like a character that you would hate? Like, for real. Like, he looks like one of those street pastors that go to colleges and yell at you that you're going to hell if you don't repent while you're just trying to make it to your class on time. Like, this is the epitome of the character. Wherever I'm doing it, I'm thinking I'm doing it this side, but if not, I'm doing it this side. That's the epitome of this character. He tries to get you to repent. He tries to get you to repent from using oil, because that is unholy in his book, which is a cookbook, but apparently he uses it as a Bible, and even across the other kitchen appliances that I personally really grew to love. So I double hated this man, because why are you bullying these other kitchen appliances that did not choose to be the way that they are, but they're trying to be authentically themselves? And I got the hate ending with him. I do not regret it. I would do the hate ending again for him. Honestly, I wish there was a way to like speed run getting a hate ending with him, because he gives you way too many chances. Like, he really thinks that he can convert you. But me personally, I love a good french fry, whether it is air fried or deep fried into some very premium oil. And that's just me. And you know, that says a lot about my cholesterol. But just very annoying. I feel like the creators made Fryer Arrow this way because I personally have an air fryer, but I'm not an air fryer person. Does that make sense? And air fryer people just give off this air of elitism that I think that they would really connect with Fryer Arrow. So for all those Fryer Arrow lovers, I'm pretty sure you are an air fryer person, and that says a lot about your personality. And that's fine, and that's cool. Enjoy your air fryer. Just not for me. So Fryer Arrow, you are 102. You are the last of the tier, and you are the last character. I hate you the most. All right. Next is 101, the next character in this tier, who is Jean-Luc Pizzois. Hopefully I said his French name right. I did take French for 4 years, and clearly it's going well. Before I say anything though, just look at his character. Does he look like a character that you want to romance? Like, just be honest with me. Like, let's just have a little kiki in my comfy corner. When you want to introduce your man to your besties, is this the man that you're fighting for? Like, I don't know. It just gives me very much that. He is your toilet, and he is a French rapper who raps. He looks like a SoundCloud rapper that will try to convince you that he's popular in another country, and he's really not. I just really don't like him. I really just don't like him. I don't like him. He's rude. He's cocky. He's very mid in the rap department. Like, I feel like I understand that you can't get like Chance the Rapper on here, or like Tyler the Creator, or Kendrick. Like, I get that you can't get an all-star rapper, but you could have like somebody that was better. Very much so like, oh brother, this guy stinks. I got immediate hate ending with this man. It could not happen any faster. He wanted to have a rap battle with you, and I really was not gonna go into his shenanigans. I do feel though, personally, as someone who really loves rap culture, really deep into battle rap as well, this character is not made for me, because I feel like this is a white person's version of what they think rap is. Not just white person. I feel like this is Drake's version of sorry. I feel like this is Drake's version of what rap should be, and it's just not for me. And also, I would like to side note this with the French the French rap scene is actually very beautiful and amazing. And there's a lot of great underground rappers that just so happen to be French and rap in French and English, that I feel like maybe you could have gotten to do this character, and maybe I would have liked more, but it just feels like Lil Tecca. It's giving like, it's giving 6ix9ine, and to that I say no. The only reason why he's not 102 is because I think Fryer Arrow's a lot more antagonistic than he is, and once you get his hate ending, he sort of just is like, he hates you, but it shuts him up. Versus Fryer Arrow, he still pops in and out every now and again. So that is my thoughts on Jean-Luc Pizzois. Right, and next is number 100. Now, I'm not going to pronounce her name right, but I'm going to attempt. Her name is Rongomai Huenua. I'm probably going to have the name up here so that you could sound it out and then tell me that I'm wrong. But I think I did the best that I can. She is your Crystal Rock, and she's located in The Office. And I really love her design. I mean, look at her. I mean, she's gorgeous. She is the moment. Tiana, why is she so low? Like, she looks like she should be on Drag Race. Like, the category is stunning, right? But she's just boring. She's boring. There's no depth or dimension to her. I really wanted to like her, but she's way too high and mighty. There's really no story arc. Maybe I got the hate ending too fast for her to really get to know her. But all she wants to do is like be worshipped. And that's not something that me as a person is going to do. And I try to play the game as authentically me as possible. And me and her just aren't gonna click because I'm not gonna be kissing your feet every other Tuesday and you give me nothing. Like it's giving beauty queen and not comedy queen if this was Drag Race. Yeah, it wasn't worth the time and the effort. And for that, I just put her here. Luckily, once you get the hate ending, you don't have to see her in any of the other characters pop up, so that's great. But yeah, she was just boring, and I don't like her, and I think that she's very annoying, so she goes here at the spot of 100. All right, next up is Scandelabra. Oh boy. Scandelabra is your candlestick. You have like a fancy candlestick on the dinner table. Who is on top of Abel the table. Love him. We'll get to him soon. But I did find his storyline where he was spreading a rumor that the silverware weren't actually silver to be very funny. And he did it because he's insecure about his authenticity as a candlestick holder and candlestick. But I didn't like how annoying and invasive he was when I was trying to talk with other characters. He just kept popping up, and it wasn't in a fun way where it's like, ooh, spill the tea. It was more so like, oh brother, this guy stinks. Like, do you see why I made this tier, this guy stinks? Because like anytime I see them when they pop up in other romances or when I just talk with them, I'm like, can we please skip through? So like I really wanted to like him. I really did. But I feel like if he was spilling tea about other characters in a more fun way, which another character does really well, and we'll get to her in a moment. Well, we'll get to her much later in the video. Then I wouldn't be mad, but just ugh. Like every time I see him, I just went ugh, and so that is why you're 99. But at least you had a personality, right? At least you had something going for you. Speaking of something going for them, let's go to number 98. Who is Lux? Lux is your light, and is not my light. He is essentially the Jeffree Star and James Charles character, and I think the creators did a very good job making him hateable and making him one of those like obnoxious influencers, because that is exactly what his character is. And as much as I appreciate how well done it is done, he's still annoying, and I still don't like him. I wish he had some level of growth and wouldn't be so self-absorbed, but he is. I do love that when I was trying to get the hate ending with him, because I really did not like talking to him, you do end up becoming besties because he's like, oh, this is how you make friends in the industry, bestie. And then you talk to him again and you're like, no, I really hate your guys, and then he hates you. I did think that was a little bit funny, which is why he's a little bit higher up than some of these other characters. But for the most part, yeah, he is a character that is meant to be hated, and they did a great job because I do hate him. So, yeah, number 98 is where you go. All right, next is Captain Jacques Perrault. I pronounced that right. And Jock, he is the pirate that is in your ship in a bottle that you have in the living room on top of the fireplace. And I find his character and concept hilarious. I mean, look at this character. This is such a unique vibe. The voice actor killed it. Honestly, all the voice actors did an amazing job. I don't think I'm gonna sit here and say that the voice actor did a horrible job. They did an amazing job doing it. Maybe with Jean-Luc Picard, I don't think that that was the voice actor's fault. I think he did the best with what he had. I just think that maybe the writing of the character of Jean-Luc could have been better. But the only reason why he's in here, I would have put him in a little bit of a higher position if it wasn't for him being so annoying. Like, I thought that his thing was that he likes getting angry and wanting to fight with you. That was a part of his storyline. And then when you go through another story with Beau, I'll get to Beau in a little bit. I'll talk more about that later. But when you get into a storyline with Beau that includes his character, he just falls very flat to me. And then when you come back to talk to him, I thought we were cool and besties. So when I'm poking fun at him, making him angry, he's like, wow, you're trying to make me angry? And it's like, that was your whole story arc, baby. Like, I don't know what I did or said wrong. yeah, it was just his ending for me. And so I just chose the wrong dialogue by trying to poke the bear, even though his whole character up until that point was poking the bear, and there was no indication that would let me know that I probably shouldn't have poked the bear in that moment. But yeah, after that I really felt upset because I was like, oh dang, I thought that I understood your character and I don't, and the way that it was done was not in a way that let me in on the joke. And so for that you get number 97, Captain Jock. Yeah. Yeah, that's where you go. Um, Second to last for this tier is Dishy. Yeah, the dishwasher. Honestly, this character is so funny. Dishy's your dishwasher, but he's just really scary. He's a little bit unnerving. Part of me did want to put him in the next tier, which I will tell you later. But there was nothing to him. He was very boring. He just wants your personal information and Wi-Fi. And me personally, as someone who likes to be secure online and offline, I immediately was just like, no. And then I thought that by saying no, that he might have an epiphany that maybe he's being intrusive and wants to know too much of my information and sell it online. But he didn't like that, and so I got an immediate hate ending with him. And honestly, so be it. Yeah, he just belongs in this tier because of that. Also, again, he's very scary and unnerving. And the only way to not get a hate ending with him is to allow him your Wi-Fi, and I refuse to do that. And so for that, you get to be in this tier, Dishy. Yeah. All right, and last and certainly the least, since you're in this tier, is Jerry. Jerry is your drawers, but just the junk in your drawers is what Jerry specifically is. And this is another character of this is one of those characters where you want to help them, but helping them is somehow the wrong decision, and I don't understand. So Jerry complains that he can't find anything and he's full and he's stuffed, and so I decide as the character to help remove some of the useless junk, and turns out some of the stuff that he had were also things that other items had in their possession, and then Jerry sort of stole because he's a little bit of a klepto. And so once you clean up his drawers, he then flips it on you. It's like, you made me like this. How dare you? Now I'm empty. I hate you. And I'm like, girly pop, isn't this what you wanted me to do? Like, what was... You say that you're upset that you're stuffed, and then when I unstuff you, now you want to be a stuffed crust pizza. Like, does that make sense to me? Like, I don't know. Like, I hate him more so than I am scared of him. And so I think that's why he is on the top of this tier. Just to know, the bottom tier means like you belong in this tier. But if you're at the top of a tier, that means that you were close to getting into the next tier. But I just could not put you in that next tier. And that's sort of Jerry, where I feel like I could have put you a little bit higher. But then I think back on just your whole story arc, and he looks like an annoying character, right? It's not just me. So for that, Jerry, you get to be the reigning champ of the oh brother this guy stinks category. And with that is the end of this category. Let's get into the next tier, and number 96. Okay, so this is the I choose piece tier. I might have to like chop up the video, movie magic, but we'll see how far I can get. Anyways, so this is the I choose piece tier. This tier is all about me looking at this character and going through their storyline and being like, you know what? It's your world, kitty girl. Like, I just want to get through this. I don't really hate you for real. I just want to be done. I want to choose my own sanity. And that's what this tier is. And I think nobody represents this tier better than Dina. Dina scares shit out of me. Look, do you see this? Do you see? She's a little bit like, she's more scary when you first unlock her, because I decided to go room by room for characters so that way I could keep up with who I talked to and who I didn't, because I didn't want to be just scatterbrained and all around the world, and that's sort of just my play style. But I started to, like, when you have to like shoot your love beams at an item, I know this all sounds very stupid, but you have to shoot your love beams at this dresser, and at first you see like it's a little glitchy, but then you think it's you, and then it's like literally a bug. So Dina was supposed to be a dresser character, but I guess the creators thought that they were a little bit redundant with some of the other characters that they have. Most likely Shelly the Shelf and Cabrizio the Cabinet. And so they scrapped her character, and in doing so, turned her into a virus in a bug named Dina, where you can fairly easily get any ending that you want from Dina, and you could like switch which ending you have. So you could go from like hate to love to friend, however much you want. But the only caveat to it is you have to go through this very scary random dialogue. There are moments where she makes you think that your game crashed. There are moments where you're stuck in it. What feels like an infinite dialogue loop. There are times where she's just glitching out, and she's just very scary. And so for that, I decided to just be friends with her because I don't know what would have happened if I kept the love ending with her and then realized her, and I really didn't want to figure out what would happen if she hated me. So she goes here. I choose my piece. Good luck, Dina. All right. Next character. Next character is Doug. I know what you're thinking. Y'all, I know that he has a nice body. We all see it. Me personally, I could care less. But we see the six packs. We see the body. If like we remove the face, like he looks like Dream. Like he looked like Dream before we figure out what Dream really looked like. Remember that? Remember that whole phase in the internet when people were like making it seem like Dream was just this muscle daddy. Well, he's not. And by that I mean Doug. Dream, I don't really know what your MO is, but sure. But he is your feeling of existential dread. And he's also a really big jerk, and he's trying to get back with his ex. I forget what the ex's name is, but he mentioned it quite often. And you're really a rebound for him, and he wants to let you know that. And in trying to talk with him, even just to be a friend with him, let alone romance him, he throws little nuggets of true existential dread, like how, you know, we're all gonna die someday, how the future is inevitable and that we'll all turn into dust and all that. Like he really hits you home, and it does not help that current events make you feel like everything that he's saying is happening a lot faster than he's trying to make it seem. Apparently I got the friend ending with him because, again, I didn't want to figure out what would happen if I got a hate ending with existential dread. Just me personally. But if you want to hate existential dread, play the game and be my guest. But apparently if you get a love ending with him, or maybe a different friendship ending, you can play Samurai Sudoku, and I think that's fucking hilarious, and I also love Samurai Sudoku. So there's that. Cat in the Hat. You go here at number 95 because I too am a little bit scared of you, but not as much as I am of Dina. All right, and next up, number 94 is Harper. Now, Harper is a very interesting character. She's your laundry basket, and is in a toxic relationship with Dirk, who is your dirty laundry. We will get to Dirk later, and I will talk more about Dirk later. But just know that her storyline and Dirk's storyline sort of coincide, where you sort of help them realize that they are both in a very toxic relationship. And so when Dirk leaves, he does his own thing, but then when you talk with Harper after they break up, she immediately wants to get with you. And I was just like, girl, you just got out of a toxic relationship, so that's a no for me, dog. I just feel like you need some time for yourself because you sort of rushed into this relationship after you broke up with another relationship with Chappie the Chapstick. Hilarious. Chappie the Chapstick is not a dateable or known character, but he is referenced by Harper as her ex before getting with Dirk. So maybe no. And so I chose the friendship route with her, and after choosing the friendship route with her, she thought in her head that friendship and lovers are the same thing. And so she turns into a stalker, essentially, and anytime you even accidentally interact with her, she's trying to get you to get a friendship tattoo done, and she already got a friendship tattoo done for your character. And to that I say no thank you. I personally like my stalkers far away from me versus close in my hamper. So yeah, I'd rather not cross her, and I will like her to think that we are friends, but just not be in my proximity. So yeah, you go here, Harper. Good luck. I hope you find someone else to obsess with. Okay, and number 93 is Arma. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So this may take a little bit long. So Arma uh is your smoke alarm system, and I really wish that she wasn't here because her first half of her story arc, where you help her realize that she's burnt out and that she needs to recharge her battery, and I also think it's hilarious because I feel like there's so many obvious jokes about people leaving their smoke alarm detectors to beep and they need to change your battery and they don't. But anyways, I thought that that part was really sweet, and you help her realize, like, hey, you know, you need to do that. And right when she recharges her battery, she's actually able to detect a fire that actually happens and able to save the day. And I thought that should have been the end. However, there is a part two where after she saves the day from the fire, she gets bored and she has nothing to do. And so she ends up befriending the Sig Gang, or the Sigs, which is a group of animated cigarettes, and she starts smoking. I know, follow me, camera. And if you don't have the right specs, which are basically like checkpoints, if you will, to or speech check points that you get by completing other items endings, so that way you can use it to sort of answer certain questions or skip certain things. If you Since I didn't have the spec points right away to convince her to not smoke, she decides to smoke with the Sig Gang anyway. And then I thought that, oh, okay, I could just get the spec points and then come talk to her and convince her to not be friends. But I just missed that chance and opportunity to tell her no. So she decides to then burn the house down with the Sig Gang. And you have to remove her batteries if you don't have the certain specs you need, which again, at that moment, I didn't have. And so she just basically burnt up the house, said, I'll do it again. You remove her batteries and she's in sleep mode. And then you have to talk to her again, and unless you have the spec points, she'll just keep burning down the house. Now when you do get the spec points, she realizes she's being a big dumb, and then she does help stop the fire. For reference, if you don't have the spec points, then the doorman, Damien the door, will help with putting out the fire. But the damage already done. She goes from 0 to 100 real quick, and I personally don't like that. And so for that reason, you're over here. Also, justice for Wallace the wall, because of her antics. The wall is permanently like burnt next to your room because that's where the fire took place. And apparently Wallace and Arma were besties. So the fact that you even do that to Wallace, so yeah, Arma, you go here. Really, really wish we didn't have to put you here, but that's just sort of how the cookie has crumbled. All right. Next is Fantina. Fantina is your fan, and your literal fan. She even has a fan club about you, and she's very stalker creepy-ish as well. I think her and Harper would be besties, but like in the wrong ways. Like I think they'd be frenemies, because I feel like both of them would be besties but think that the other's crazy and not themselves. I think that would be sort of their dynamic. Anyways, she was way too obsessive and clingy for me. The reason why she's not in a lower tier is I really do like her design, and I know that her character was meant to be this way, versus some other characters where I feel like it just missed the ball completely for me. But as long as she just leaves me alone, I will be fine. I got the hate ending for her. I don't know how and why. But honestly, it's probably best that she does hate me so she could stop stalking me and not give me macaroni art. I will not explain further. All right. Next up is Dante. Dante is your fireplace, and I really did want to like him, y'all. I really did. But one, you see him, but two, he is basically a pickup artist, and no amount of gaslighting can you give me to make me like a pickup artist personally. I'm sorry. They try to make it seem like he's a pickup artist to pick up friends, and to that I say no. You don't try to become a pickup artist to make friends or relationships, because that's pretty predatory and it's very disingenuous in the way that you want to do it. Because instead of you trying to get to know them as a human being and trying to express yourself as who you are, you're trying to do these tricks to try to lure them into some sort of trap to believing you are not the person that you are. And I just feel that's pretty predatory. But I'll get off my soapbox on a game where you just date items and just put him here because yeah, I just wasn't a fan of him. Apparently, if you also use your spec points on him, he doesn't like that, even though that's essentially what you're doing to other people. And so I got a hate ending with him, and I even tried to sympathize with him for a little bit because I saw online that Dante's actually really nice if you give him a chance, and so I gave him another chance. And I stuck with my hate decision. I don't know what chance y'all thought he was giving, but not Chance the Rapper. And so for that, you belong here. All right, number 90, we have Luke Nukem. And honestly, I love his character design. And he is very goofy and funny. However, he scares me as well. And so that is why he is in this tier. He believes that he's in like this sci-fi alien wartime movie, Duke Nukem, if you will. And even when you meet him, he's like, "Are you friend or foe?" And I'm like, could you put the radiation gun down, please, sir? I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. Yeah, he's just way too in the bit. However, when you do get an ending with him that isn't a hate ending, I believe I got the love ending or the friendship ending. No, I got the love ending. I just felt like he needed someone in his life that cared for him. But I genuinely do not love him. I sort of wish I got the friend ending, but I wasn't sure how he'd feel just being a friend. Because sometimes being a friend ending with some of them, as you can see with Harper, could have some different consequences. And so, yeah, he's just really into character, and he does not break it until you get an ending where he finally admits that all of this is fantasy and he's just lonely. But I just don't like how quickly you can become unhinged. So yeah, you're gonna stay here, Luke, with Dante. I hope that you and him become friends. Okay, and next up is Tina Triangle. Oh my goodness, I really wanted to like Tina Triangle. I mean, look at her character design. It's so amazing. Tina Triangle is your musical triangle. Excuse me. And I don't know why our character has a triangle in their closet, but we just accept it anyway. And she's a messy girl. She loves a good messy reality show. And I wish that she was the character where I could kiki about it, or we could watch a Love Island episode together. But no, she wants to create mess with you in real life. And that's just something that I'm not a fan of. I already got a lot of stuff going on in my life. I don't need a triangle trying to create more mess. And so I got the hate ending because she decided to purposely leave her diary out, and she wanted me to read it so that way she could bust me and cause drama. And I really just am not a fan of that, of the tricks and the goops and the gags, so I purposely didn't read it. And she was mad at me, and so stay mad. You could stay in between Luke Nukem and the next guy, and I know that you would hate that because they're both not only boring, but also very scary. All right. Next up is Johnny Splash. I really debated on if I should put him in the peace section or the oh brother this guy stinks section, but I think he belongs here because, you know, at first he's a big softie. He is your shower, and he wants to be a singer a la Elvis, but even though he doesn't know who that is. And you sort of help him realize that he should be able to chase his dreams and do what he wants. And so he decides to quit his job and to audition for a show, and he ends up getting through to the show. And before he gets onto the, basically like America's Got Talent, if you will. But before he gets on America's Got Talent, he finally sings in front of you, and no, he cannot sing. He cannot do it, girl. The range does not know where he is. And so, me being my character, I tried to explain that to him, and instead of him taking the constructive criticism, he thinks that I'm jealous of him for some reason and pulls that little shenanigan. And honestly, after that point, I decided to put him in this category because what do you mean I'm jealous of you? Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? And also, he comes crawling back to you after he realizes that he, in fact, cannot sing. And the only reason that he was put on the show was so that he could be in a funny highlight reel. And the way that he tries to crawl back to you is sort of like, he wouldn't have done that if he actually did succeed. He would have been like, ha, I was writing you wrong. And so, yeah, I'm just not a fan of those sort of people or characters. So yeah, Johnny Splash, you go here. I got the friend ending with him because honestly by that point I didn't have a choice. It was either friend or love ending. But now I sort of wish I got the hate ending because I really don't like him as a character. I really don't. He was very annoying to me. But I don't think he deserved Oh Brother This Guy Stinks because there was a wholesome moment that I appreciated that sort of nixes out the other. All right, and next up is Titus. She is your Tide Pods or your laundry detergent. I really don't know what I did to make this lady mad. But I really don't. I don't know what I said or did, but like I immediately got a hate ending with her. I really wish that I knew. But she's also a scary glamazon who also is in control on whether or not my clothes are clean or not. And so for that, I'm not going to debate her. I'm not going to argue with her. I'm not going to go back and forth. If you hate me, just hate me. Just please make sure my clothes are clean and I will not bother you again. That knife looks very sharp. You know, that's sort of where I'm at in my life. So I decide to not beef with my laundry detergent and just put her in this tier and let her have fun with Johnny Splash. I think that makes a little bit sense. Maybe they could be an item. Maybe they could be a thing, you know? Who knows? Next up is Textbox-chan. Textbox-chan. Yeah, you can date the UI. This game gets so meta at certain points. It's really funny. I really wish I didn't have to put Miss Girl, Miss Thing, Miss Ma'am here because I mean look at her design. Very cute. Very, very I love it. But I listened to this girl. I complimented this girl because all she wanted to know was does she look pretty? And I would say, yes, you do, because I mean, look at her, stunning. And I thought that we were gonna be besties. I thought that we were gonna kiki, have a grand old time, and have some like subtitle back and forth whenever I interact with other characters. But then it finally gets to the last like dialogue option to tell her what you think about her. And so I'm like, oh, you look hot, because again, this whole story arc with her has been about her appearance because she's, you know, the text box UI. And then she's just like, oh, that's all I am. You don't see me as a thinking character. And I'm like, and so I guess this is how guys feel when they're like, what's my best trait? And then they say your ass. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you ask me to tell you that you're pretty, and then when I tell you that you're pretty this time, you don't want me to say it. Like, I don't know. I won't beef with Miss Man because again, she is the text box for all of the characters, and if I did get the hate ending with her, but if she truly hated me, then I wouldn't be able to talk to the other characters. So I just don't want beef with her, and so I'll just leave you here. But truly and honestly, Textbox-chan, maybe when I do another run through, I'll say the other option and say that you're smart, even though all you've wanted to hear was that you're pretty. And maybe we could be besties because I really have no beef or qualms with you. I just don't want to argue. Yeah, I'm not argumentative. I try to not be. It's too stressful to be. So yeah. Last but certainly not least, in the top of the I Choose Peace tier, meaning that she was only this close away from being in the next tier, is Stella, the staircase. I'm still debating on if she should even be on this tier or not, but I just feel like you belong here because I'm having that internal debate. So she again is your staircase, and she is a part of a pyramid scheme, but she doesn't realize she's in a pyramid scheme. So part of her story arc is trying to get her to admit that she is. And every time that you try to, she comes up with an excuse on why she's not, and then tries to sell you her pyramid scheme, but she does a really bad job because she's not a salesperson. But eventually you do convince her that yeah, this is a pyramid scheme, and she acknowledges it, and so you think, oh, that's done, you're gonna stop scamming your friends and scamming me. But then you talk to her again, and then she's just like, Actually, I made my own new pyramid scheme by myself. And it's supposed to be endearing, but it's also like you are still scamming people out of their money because you know it's a scam. And so I can't really. This is such a good question. Do I stand for scammers? No, I don't. Even if they are trying to chase a bag. So yeah, also she is the main reason why I am soft locked out of getting Celia and Florence's endings, because I ended up getting her ending first, which was Friend. Um I ended up getting her ending first, and there's a known bug that I did not know because I did not want to spoil myself, but until afterwards. But there's a known bug is if you decide to do Stella's ending first and then go to Florence and Celia, you are soft locked out of getting their ending. You just are stuck in a continuous loop. And so I also don't appreciate that. And I feel like maybe that's what's making me put her here, because I really don't like that she prevented me from getting two characters' endings. And mind you, if you don't get a character's ending, you don't get those spec points. And so that left me to have like a very incomplete run, even though I did a lot to unlock all the characters and there was nothing I could do to go back unless I really, really went back and reset my progress. So yeah, Stella girl, you're here. And with that, that is the end of the I Choose piece tier. Up next is the next tier and the next character. Okay, so this is the next tier, and I would like to call it You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Yeah, yeah, because these characters were like, I feel okay about them, but I just wish there was something more to you. And I feel like that is the best way to sum up how I feel when I see these characters. And who better to be at the bottom of this tier list and the most deserving of this title than Ronaldini. I was so disappointed with this character. I think the most disappointed, though I don't think he deserves to be in any other category because it's not like I hate him. I'm just let down. Iron Nandini is actually your ironing board. And the rabbit in his hat is the actual iron. And I think that his design is actually really, really dope. And I love the concept that he is a magician. However, we don't get to see a magic show. We don't get to participate. I mean, there is another storyline that you have to go through with another character that is much higher before you can unlock him. So maybe they thought that you already did a whole bunch of running around with this other character to unlock him. So now here you go. Here's an ending, whichever one you choose. But I feel like if you have a magic character, I should be able to see a magic show or be involved or something. Like, I don't like that I got a immediate friend ending with him, and it just really put a sour taste in my mouth. I really wish that I got more out of him, but I don't hate him because I think that his character was done well, and at least the little bit of dialogue that I got was pretty fun. So Ronaldini, you go here. Excuse me. Next up, number 83 is Rebel. She's your rubber duck, and she's just this loudmouth, carefree rebel. And that's really it. There's no nuance to her, and I think that's why she's here. Like, I wish that I got more out of you. Like, I wish I knew like if you were in the BDSM community, like another character that I'll get into much later that I love, right? Like, maybe lean into that. Or if you're just super punk rock and metal because you don't like people telling you that you squeak, like, tell me that. I went through so much of her dialogue just to get the hate ending because I started asking these questions and she didn't like it. And I'm like, well, I'm just not going to sit here and pander to you because every time you talk to her, she's like roasting you. And like, I personally don't like that because I already talk bad about myself in my head. I don't need someone else to do that. You know what I mean? So that is why she's here. And it's also a little bit funny because if you make her mad and or get the hate ending, she just disappears. Like, her whole character disappears. You can't interact with her until she comes back a couple of days later. And then when you interact with her again, she could either disappear or just say that she hates you and go away. So, yeah, Rebel, you go here because that's how I feel. All right, next up is Mikey Transaction. I really wish that he wasn't down here, but I also feel like it's an issue with me being soft locked with some other characters, so that way I couldn't really realize him the way that I wanted to. Maybe I would have liked him more, even though that's not a part of this category. But also I don't like his system. So basically Mikey is one of the two DLC characters, and he is literally your microtransaction. And I like his character in terms of he's married to a literal star and he has 3 kids, and he gets divorced to his wife, so he's now a single dad. He's a single dad that works 2 jobs, you know? And I love that. I think it was done very effortlessly through that, like how you discover and go through all of that. I think it's very well done. But I just really hate the pull mechanic. You only get 5 pulls a day, and there's 3 different tiers of rarity. There's the common boots, there's the mid-class gauntlets, and then there's the coveted armor plate. And I pulled for like maybe 30 days, and you need 100 boots to get 1 gauntlet, and you need 100 gauntlets to get 1 breastplate, and the likelihood of you just pulling the breastplate is extremely low. And I did not pull that breastplate, and I really needed that breastplate so I could finish up because I was soft locked. It's a whole thing. So for that, I really did not like the pull mechanic. And also I don't like that you had to keep pressing the same dialogue box because it really gets tedious. I wish there was a way to just rapid fire or like pull 5 at once when you talk to him. And so for that, I just have to put you here. I can't put you any higher. I like some of the other characters a lot more because of that. But unfortunately, you are here. All right, next up are the Hanks. Oh my goodness, I love the Hanks. And I know that's really crazy to say because they're in this tier. But they are your hangers. And they are just like daredevils who are sponsored by a company that really doesn't care about their safety or well-being, and you learn more about that, and you sort of help them realize that they don't need to have a sponsor to do the stuff that they're doing, and you know, power of friendship, all that other fun stuff. Yeah, I think the reason why they're here is because they keep hinting about a 6th Hank that is not a part of the group anymore, and I really wish I could have met the 6th Hank. I wish that they delved more into that. It's giving the Chekhov's gun, right? Like, if you place a gun in front of me, you better set that shit off, you know? And I felt like it wasn't done. And so for that, it was a really big letdown. I even thought that, like, there's a hanger that's on the floor in one of the rooms, and I thought maybe that was the 6th Hank that they don't talk about. But no, when you access it or romance it, it's just the Hanks still. They just pop up. And so I just felt really let down from that. I still got a friend ending with them. I think that they're really fun. I think the voice actors have a lot of fun doing this character. But yeah, those are my thoughts. All right, and coming in hot at 80 is Mac. Now, I really like Mac's design. Sponsored much. Mac is your computer, and they're just boring. They're a little bit boring. There's really nothing to them. Like, they want you to update your system, and so I go through that, and then they're like, oh, you need more storage, and so I delete my precious memories so that way we could get this upgrade. And I thought maybe there'd be some level of transformation or some differences or nuances, but no, they look the same. And then when you get to an ending with them, they're like, oh, I want to be in a poly relationship, which is fine because I'm out here dating everything. Why not you? But then when you talk to them and they're like, no, I actually only want to be with you. And so I'm like, okay, is that it? Is that the story? Like, you're a literal computer. You could have done so much. You could have had like a Dina moment where you glitch out or like you turn evil or something and then I have to fix you. You could have had a moment where like I'm playing Minesweeper or something to help you do the upgrade. It could have been very interactive. I mean, like, you literally have existential dread out here doing Samurai Sudoku. You couldn't have like a mini game, and maybe I made the wrong choices to where I couldn't have that interactability, but since this is my run and this is my experience, this is where you are. Like, truly and honestly, I wish I could put you lower so that way you are more disappointing, but I feel like the other characters before you were just that much more polarizing. So there you go, Mac. Wish you were better for sure. Next up is Wendelin. She is your window, and I really wanted her to give me soccer mom energy, and in a way she did. And it was building up to her getting a get together for you because she thinks that you're lonely, which I thought was pretty fun. But then once you get towards the end of it, she just drops it. And maybe that was my choices, but she just drops it, and then it was all this build up and hype to a party that just never happened. And so I felt pretty deflated for that. I got a friend ending with her because I still want to be besties with her, but I wish they didn't just drop the ball on her character like that. At the very least, make it seem like I have a party, or like, I don't know, maybe she tries to be a party person and then I actually go and invite items or something. Like, it just fell flat for me. I do love her design though. I think her design is very pretty. But I just wanted more and I didn't get it. Okay, next up is Cherami. Cherami's the chair, and I love her design and I love her character because I love that she's a theater girl and that's her whole thing, and she does plays. My only thing that I did not like about her is she is so annoying to actually get an ending because she only is awake at a very specific time. And when you're down on the first floor, there is no clear clock to tell you what time it is. So you just have to like either go up the stairs to the bedroom that shows you the clear time, or you just have to remember like what spot of your chances to romance is what time in the day. And then also sometimes you romance her at the certain time of the day, but then it's not the specific day that she's doing plays. Or if you try to romance her on the same type of play day, then you won't go forward in her dialogue. So I just wish the creators made it much more easy to get an ending and to do the plays and stuff. But once you do the plays, it's actually really fun. It's improv. There's other characters that visit and that have their own versions of cool plays. I really hated getting to her ending to the point where I got the friend ending from her. I just felt exhausted and like a little bit burnt out from the game because it was just eating up. And like once you make a mistake, like say you romance a character that's like you need to go to someplace else, you just wasted a chance. So I wasted so many chances on her where she was just sleeping or being like, come back tomorrow. That I did not vibe with. And so that is why she is here. Now, Beverly. I really do not like that she's number 77. I think that she could have been so much more high. But I also got soft locked for her. And I don't know what caused me to get soft locked. I tried looking online to see what the reason was, and I couldn't find it, but other people were running into the same problem as me. But you basically follow her. She's your mini bar. You basically follow her as she makes different cocktails and mocktails for you, and you sort of help her advertise her bar because not like no one shows up to it, and then you even use your phone. Her name's Quenisha. But I love seeing that you go from like an empty bar to a thriving bar, and then you find out that she has a drinking problem, and then you help her through the drinking problem. I hear, because that's when I got soft locked, when I find out that she does have an alcohol problem. But I hear that if you weren't soft locked, it's a really beautiful story where you help her realize that she has an alcohol addiction and get help and learn how to navigate being a bartender with an alcohol problem while you have a booming business and serving mocktails instead. Like, I just hear her story is great, but I wish I could have experienced it, but I was soft locked. So I'm sorry, bestie, but this is the highest you can go without me feeling like I'm sort of being biased or going based off of another person's experience. So until the bug gets fixed and until I'm not soft locked, girl, you just have to go here. I'm sorry. I feel bad because like I really did want to experience her story. Because it sounds very sweet, but my game had other plans. Okay, next up, number 76, is Miranda Dulce Tostadora. And I hope I pronounced that last name right, but if not, I apologize. I love her design. I love her vibe. She's very fun. She's very chill. She's the bestie that I would love to hang out with. I love her story arc where you get to write a song with her. And I did become friends with her. I did not choose a love ending with her just because I feel like she's more of a bestie than a lover. But I don't know why she's here. And I know I'm saying that knowing full well I made a whole script and I made a whole tier thing and like all of this is already structured. It's just a matter of me talking about it. But like, I don't know why I don't like her more and why she's here, but I just felt like she belonged. I don't know what she could have done to be better, but I just wish that she was better. Maybe if she had more of an intuitive, like, I don't know, there's even like a little music segment for her. I just think it's one of those instances where you just don't vibe with a character, and you know what, is gonna have to be fine, because again, this is my tier list and I do whatever I want. But yeah, I don't know. I just want something more, but I don't know what that more is, and so I'm just going to put you here. Okay, next up is number 75. This is Teddy, your childhood teddy bear. And I really love the concept. I love that he tells you a very long bedtime if you let him. And you could cut him off at any point in time, but if you let him speak and tell the full story, then you can get a friend or love ending with him. I decided to get a love ending with him because, I mean, he's a lovable teddy bear. And my bedtime story that I listened to fully with him was about this beaver who turns out to be a war general and tries to defend his dam from another group of beavers. And it was equal parts funny as exhilarating, because you never know what happens. Like, characters die in this thing. It's a whole thing. I know that there were other options in which the bedtime story could have been for me, and I think I could still get other bedtime stories if I wanted to, or if I didn't finish the game. I could get other bedtime stories if I talked with him more, but I just wish there was more to him than just a bedtime story. Like, I get the whole point is like, he's your childhood teddy bear, so there's really nothing else you can say or do but do these things. But I would just like to know more about his aspirations, and just, I just wanted more out of him when it comes to him specifically, not just it factoring on something that is assumed, that I share with him and know of him. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what I wanted. But overall, really great character. I love the story. It was so funny and so crazy at certain points. And the way that he was telling it, the voice actor does an amazing job telling it like he's telling a regular bedtime story, but it was truly unhinged. So yeah, it just fell a little flat for me. I'm sorry. Next up is Timothy Timepiece. He is your clock. You have cat-themed clocks all around the house, and so that is why he is a cat. I really thought it was cute that you meet up with him at different times in the day and he's doing something different. And that he's really obsessed with time and clocks and watches, but that's it. That's all the character goes. And I don't know. I just wish that there was something more to him. Like, I wish that we got to know more history about his pocket watch that he keeps near and dear to him, or I don't know how you would have judged it up more, but I just wish that it wasn't just all about time with him, even though I get that's his whole character arc. I did get the friendship ending with him because I thought it was really cute that he trusts you enough to clean his pocket watch clock, and he talks to you about how much he loves timeliness and how much it means to him. And I think that was very cute. I guess I wanted something else on top of the time thing. Like, you like time and you like tea time, or like you like time and you like other things. What I will say without spoiling is I do love the realized version of him more, and I would have ranked him higher if I was taking that into consideration. But since I'm being fair by not putting that into consideration, because I did not get to realize all of the characters, he just goes here. All right, my second to last girly in this tier, this is Keys. I know, she's gorgeous, she's the moment, she is her, but so she's your secondhand piano, and she thinks that she's a famous piano, and because of that, she acts like such a bitch in front of all the other items, and I don't really like that part, especially since it takes time for me to run around and takes chances for me to run around and talk to some of the other items in the house to get her to get the perfect conditions. And then you finally break the news to her that she's not a famous piano, that she's in fact a secondhand piano that has never been in a concert before. And then she sort of goes through this existential moment where she tries to re-find herself and who she is, and she ends up falling in love with a telenovela on telly, who's the television, and decides to make a very beautiful sonata, explaining her transformation into a more loving and caring individual. Now, on paper, that's such a cute story and evolution, but y'all really don't understand how annoying she was in the first half and how long it took to really get to that second half that I said. And so I feel like if that first half was shorter, and the second half was longer, she would have definitely gone up higher. But because that first half of her being a bitch was so long, and then her transition over and her just being like, I'm sorry, here's the song, it really didn't click and connect with me. So yeah, I did get a friend ending with her because despite how I feel, I do think that her sonata was really cute and her ending was really cute. I just did not like that first half, and so that I feel like it would not be fair to put you in the next tier. I think that you had to go here. And speaking of people that had to go here, but I wish you weren't here, is Florence. Florence is the floor, and oh my goodness, I love her character design. She's very cute. She is actually the secretary to Celia, who is the ceiling and the mayor of the house. We'll get to her when we get to her. The reason why Florence is here is not Celia is because I really didn't get much of any interaction with Florence. There is a time where you interact with Florence when it comes to Holly, the holiday items character. Again, we'll get to her when we get to her. But she just I didn't get more out of her. Whereas Celia pops up everywhere and anywhere because she is the mayor and so she's involved in so much stuff. And so I got to interact with her character more. I am soft locked from her character ending, so I could not put her higher because I personally did not experience any of her character arc or growth. The only thing that I can do is talk to her, and then she asked me if I want to see Celia, and then Celia asked me if I want to see Florence, and I'm just stuck because of the whole Stella situation. So I really wish I could have connected with her. I hear that her story arc is really cute and fun, and you have a chance to even get her to get together with Celia. Um, but since I could not get anywhere with your character and I did not get to interact with Florence as much as I did with Celia to justify her going higher, you, girl, are just going to be at the top of this tier. Hopefully, if they fix the bug, because this is a known issue, I could actually get to see your story arc and maybe you'll be higher. But for now, this is where you have to be. All right, and that is the end of my You're Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Better tier. Next up is the next tier and number 71 in my ranking. Hello, hi, this is Editor Tiana here. So I realize I can talk a lot for a long period of time, and Editor Tiana cannot stand to make this video any longer, or she will lose her sanity. So, unfortunately, this is the end of part one of my rate and date everything tier list. Also, ignore the numbers. I apparently don't know how to count, so the numbers are a little bit wrong, but don't worry. At the end of my final video, you will see the full tier list and ranking from 102 to 1. So look forward to that. Also, I am only showing you the tiers that I went over, but next part you'll see more in case you forgot or wanted a refresher. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and as always, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe so that way you are alerted when part 2 comes out. Bye!